when he caused his whole body to...
The American comedy/podcast scene has gotten kind of insane. Careers are being made before our eyes, legends have fallen, and it ever more frequently rubs shoulders with people in power. But we're not here to talk about that. Today, we're talking drama. Over the last few years, channels like Podcast Cringe and Too Lazy to Try, as well as a slew of others, have flooded my feed with this type of content, and frankly, I've enjoyed the hell out of it, but it's pretty messy. I know one thing for sure though, I will never be able to criticise anyone who enjoys celebrity gossip again. I wasn't sure where to start. It can be a bit of a rat's nest where you can leapfrog from one person to another back decades. So I figured we'd start at the man at the centre of all this and see where we end up.
Is Joe Rogan still a comic, or is he some sort of lifestyle show that deals with information barter? I don't know. You know, jokes have...
Whilst promoting his 2025 special Panic, Mark Maron made many podcast appearances where the topic of Joe Rogan came up.
You know, my idea of what he's done to comedy.
Sure.
And I don't think it's great.
He was critical of the comedy scene Joe had cultivated, and it was obvious he disagreed with Joe's political leanings.
He's got a tight hold on the enlightened meathead.
Dude, Maron's disdain.
It's not disdain. It's reasonable criticism.
Reasonable criticism.
And what was Joe Rogan's response to this criticism? Mark is jealous.
No.
Mark Maron, don't say it.
I mean, I don't get it. You know, I'm like, I don't know.
I get it. He's sad. He's sad. He wants other people to hurt. That's what it is.
It's just not charitable. It's
also he's pathologically jealous. Like he's been he's like literally mentally ill. Then over time, obviously I became more famous than him and more successful than him. And he does not like that. He fucking hates that. And the only time we were cool was when Mark was number one. Then my podcast became number one. And then the Spotify deal. And that's when he started talking shit about me. So he started talking shit about me long before all this Trump stuff.
For lots of people, this argument didn't fully land, as it is one of his go-tos when facing criticism.
Narrative is only with jealous people. It's not based on any reality. It's not based on people who go there and hang out. You've created a walled garden. It's a walled garden. And he goes, and you've got all these friends and you're all supporting each other and you're all having fun, but there's a lot of people that feel on the outside and they feel like left out of it.
This whole idea that it's based in jealousy or it's player hating or all that shit, it's like, you know, shut the fuck up. If someone is a large part of culture and you are a satirist of any kind, it's fair game. It shouldn't be fueled in total spite. It should have some, you know, relevance. There has to be a reason. Those guys who are, you know, pawns of the right, that I think they kind of insulate themselves, and I think they have, you know, they ignore me.
If there is jealousy, I think there's an argument to it being a two-way street. Joe of the respect Mark gets as a stand-up, and Mark of Joe's reach and general position in the culture. Andrew Schultz appeared on the Joe Rogan Experience a few months later and seemingly tried to incite beef between Joe Rogan and bad friends. Most of his attention directed towards Andrew Santino, who had regularly opened for Joe on the road and made many appearances on the podcast.
You have somebody on your pod who had someone on their pod talking shit. You're better than me.
Yeah.
You're better than me.
You gotta be able to just let things go.
I can't wait for Gavin Newsom to go on Bad Friends. I want to see I'm distancing myself from the Rogan Sphere tour.
That's
First
hilarious.
stop, Bad Friends. We were saying earlier that are like seeing these like people talk shit about it, and they're getting concerned that it could like negatively impact them in a way. So they're doing this like, it's the most pussy shit. They're like trying to create a little distance, not too much where they can't call you and say, hey, I got a podcast.
Oh, you mean Andrew Santino?
Yeah, like not too much where it's like, oh, I'd like to come on your pod, but I'll have a guy who's gonna shit on you for the whole fucking episode and not give you pushback. It's like
Rogan didn't take Littlefinger's bait and mostly shrugged it off.
I would still do that with Santino.
Of course
He's
you
my
would.
boy.
That's your boy. That's your boy.
I love him.
He's a
He just-
fucking
he
amazing
just-
hang. That was a bad move. That was a bad move, in my opinion.
Though he did double down on Mark Maron.
That's all he thinks about, is other people doing better than him. So that's
naturally
what
the
he wants
bits
to
are going to be
attack.
about
Yeah.
it.
Andrew Santino, for the most part, has managed to stay out of drama. Outside the occasional beef with the audience for apparent hypocrisy,
If I'm being self-deprecating about me being a redhead, I can't be a redhead making fun of. I can't make fun of being a redhead, but then do an Asian accent. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not Asian. So
this is just a suggestion. Maybe not do the accent.
no
next time
more
you sing the
ninja.
song.
How about no more ninja? How about no more ninja?
I'm not Bobby Mata.
or involvement with a certain festival, which we'll get to later, he's managed to stay clear. Bobby Lee, on the other hand, has had quite a handful. There's a lot to get through in this section, so I'm going to pick up the pace. Kalila Kuhn, Bobby Lee's then girlfriend and current co-host of the Tiger Belly podcast, was recording an episode of her second show, Trash Tuesday, alongside comedians Annie Lederman and Esther Pavitsky. During the conversation, they brought up a comedian who had allegedly hit on both Kalila, despite knowing Bobby, and Annie in what became known as the infamous Trug Walk incident. Though they never mentioned him by name, they did refer to him as
not being good at comedy.
and every listener immediately knew it was Brendan Sharp they were referring to.
Like, what would I get out of this? That I get to suck your unfunny dick?
Brendan then was asked about it on Littlefinger's podcast Flagrant, but denied the allegations.
Beef. When are we gonna settle the Trash Tuesday beef?
It's settled as far as
Did you try to wog Annie Letterman to your truck?
No, it doesn't make sense. No, it doesn't make sense. No.
Okay, so then follow up.
Why does it not make sense? Why does that make sense?
But everything wasn't settled. Brendan had already messaged Bobby threatening to get monster lawyers, and that if the Trash Tuesday girls didn't say on the next episode that it wasn't him, he would expose the details of Kalila and Bobby's now open relationship. The Trash Tuesday girls doubled down.
But someone was like behind the scenes threatening to sue us.
Even the thing that started it all was really just an anonymous anecdote.
And I'll say
that
this
kind of,
to
like,
that
blew
person,
up, yeah.
to that person who threatened us, I'll say this. You think you have a one over me? I fucking dare you, motherfucker. I dare you. Let it out of your chest, because that is actually not a real threat. You think you're threatening me, but it's kind of, that information's already out there, you little bitch.
My currency is not money. My currency and where I see value power is in jokes. So I'm rich and you're broke, bitch. So come after me. You got nothing on me, you unfunny piece of shit.
Meanwhile, everyone else is just thinking, poor Bobby, because he really hasn't had anything to do with this. Things get worse for him before they get better though. Brendan Sharp and his co-host on the Fighter and the Kid podcast, Brian Callen, remember him?
I mean, I don't get it.
Call up Bobby and in a very aggressive manner make threats, accuse him of running a Reddit account that spurs hate towards the Fighter and the Kid podcast, specifically towards Brendan Sharp.
They threatened my career. They called me a coward, a pussy. You've always been a pussy.
I'm sorry, that's unacceptable. Blackmail.
They said they would expose me. They said that all these things. And I was in Oklahoma shooting a show, and I was at dinner, and I was by myself, and I was getting this. It was very traumatic for me, and it was based on whatever they did on the live.
So when you guys called, it was you and Brian, and you said that that you guys, my career was going to be over. That you guys have evidence, you know what I mean? That I'm some Reddit mastermind. That you have files and proof that you can trace, me from Reddit back to my house, the URL,
IP address.
the IP address, and that and that that you were gonna expose me to Rogan and all these people, and that I should get a lawyer, and that I mean, this is what you had told me, and also just mind you, it was at a level 10 of rage. It wasn't like a soft-spoken, like,
Very aggressive.
Yeah, it was extreme, you know what I mean? Threats.
I feel like I was assaulted for something that I didn't do at all. I don't even know what the fuck they're talking
You truly have nothing to do with it.
I have nothing to do with, and yet I was being, you know what I mean?
They put it all on you,
right?
Because they're using you to try to control what Kalila's doing.
Right. So, I went to therapy and about it. You know what I mean?
Really?
Talked about it yesterday because it's like it was just so traumatic, and these were my friends, and I had no idea what the fuck they were talking about, right?
Wow.
And so.
All this drama culminated in an apology from Brian Callen on the Fighter and the Kid podcast.
Bobby is 100% right in his anger at me, in how he felt, and I'm 100% wrong. I take full fucking responsibility for the way I spoke to him, which was wrong. There's no excuse, okay? I said this to Bobby. I called him up and Bobby read me the riot act. I think if he had been in front of me, he would have fucking punched me. And he's justified. And I said, Bobby, you're absolutely right. I apologize. I was wrong.
And a fairly awkward Tiger Belly episode with Brendan Schaub where they went over everything.
I said to Brian days after that assault that I no longer want to be his friend.
And that was sort of the end of it. Lots of people seem to suspect that Kalila was in fact behind the Reddit stuff, but it doesn't really go anywhere.
Let you know, one of the 6 accounts that has done most of the posting is associated with Tiger Belly. When I notified you guys of the harassment and going back to Tiger Belly, that account stopped posting, took the Tiger Belly email off and changed it. It's never posted again.
Not long after, her and Bobby separate in a very public and messy breakup with lots of strange things coming out about Kalila.
Because I was fucking my brother at a hospital.
Was that the first time you fucked your brother?
No, but it was maybe like the third time. But I mean, he was a very like sweet, meek boy. He's passed. You know, he killed himself at not too long after.
But we ain't going anywhere near that today.
When you did tell Rogan, your version of events, I just want to know, for my own peace of mind, did he believe it?
I don't know.
Kalila Kuhn, hated by the audience, loved by Theo.
Today's guest is a woman that really, I'd be online if I said she didn't occupy one of my aortas a lot of times. And
Gun to my head, because I would not date a single comic for the rest of my life. And, that's a fact.
Look, I could get a new job. I could easily open up a poke shop.
Well, as a bit.
You've never been in the outs with me, bro.
Well.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Give
you
me a
have.
chance,
have.
boy.
Fuck, I forgot.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
What were we on the outs about? No, I think after you and your girlfriend broke up, I think there was a moment where you thought I was going to try to make a move, I think. And I remember you being a little bit strange to me.
I'll tell you what. I think out of all the comics that would have made a move, that you had the best chance to get in. Maybe that's what it was.
Thank you.
I saw.
And I did not make a move.
You would never make a move.
Not a chance, brother.
I could name you who did.
Theo Von, of course, once had a podcast with Brendan Schaub, The King and the Sting. And like anyone else who's cut ties with Brendan Schaub, his career took off like a rocket ship after he quit it. Though he has been dealing with some mental health issues as of late. The shooting of his Netflix special was allegedly a disaster, and it seems like he's not in the best place.
I don't know what to tell you about that, man. I'm having a long month. I'm trying not to take my own life.
Joe Rogan has used this as an opportunity to put the blame on Mark Maron for Theo's current state of mind, blaming it on a joke Mark had made about Theo in his special.
Well, you know, when I decided to talk shit about Maron was after the Theo thing. After Theo kind of went off the rails.
Yeah.
And Theo went off the rails right after Maron put him in his special.
I think if Hitler were alive today, he'd probably appear on Theo Von's podcast. And Theo would be like, see, y'all did a lot of meth, right? I mean, all the Nazis were all fucked up on meth.
Though Theo seemed to contradict this himself and implied it was more how footage of him was taken out of context and appropriated for an anti-immigration video.
Heard you got deported, dude. Bye.
Anyhow, outside of dodging the occasional allegation, really Bobby and Santino's only other drama is light participation in the ongoing LA versus Austin versus New York feud.
Those fucking idiots that moved to Texas. Those fucking morons. Some of them are coming back. Tim Dillon, I saw him the other night. He's like, I'm moving back October 1st. It's like, no shit.
Which seems to mainly be Tony Hinchcliffe with a little help from Joe Rogan versus, well, everybody else.
What's the best city for comedy right now? Is it Austin? Is it still LA? What do you...
There's no question about it. It's Austin, Texas.
It's Austin, really?
It started after Joe Rogan relocated from LA to Austin, allegedly for tax reasons, and started his own comedy club, The Mothership, and a slew of comedians from New York and LA followed him. Some sticking it out and others realizing it wasn't really their cup of tea and returning. It sort of seems like one of those things where people are talking about it with the tone of joking around, but there's a serious undertone that they're all pretty serious about it.
All the guys who are doing The Mothership, that small room, every one of them that moved from New York couldn't even get on stage at the Stand. Couldn't even get on stage at the New York Comedy Club. These guys were failing in fucking New York. That's a fact. It's an absolute fact.
Trying to start a war.
No, it's no war. They know what the fuck's up. They left New York because they couldn't cut it here. Let's get real.
Guys like Mark Norman, Sam Morril, Louis J. Gomez have all thrown their sense in, but it still seems to be ongoing.
Still, it's not New York. We'll just put that in cement and let it dry. It's not New York. We're better than Austin, but I like Austin.
And as a side note, Tony Hinchcliffe, after riding high off the Tom Brady roast, once referred to himself as a hungry wolf.
They gave a hungry wolf a chance at showing what I can do.
Make of that what you will. One of the comedians who did make the move to Austin was Tom Segura, a notable split from his extremely well-loved Two Bears, One Cave co-host Bert Kreischer.
American. Yeah, you're American, all right.
These two comedians both started making their name on individual appearances on the Joe Rogan Experience,
I'm the machine!
as well as joint appearances as part of the Sober October crew, which in recent years has been replaced by the Protect Our Parks crew.
Well, protect the park, man.
This is due to Bert Kreischer just being too fun and entertaining.
Shut the fuck up for a second.
Joe does that you don't have the capacity to do is not make it all about himself.
Hold on. Fuck off.
The Two Bear Boys have been having a bit of a rough go of it the last few years.
Cut the checks, Bert and Tom.
But this is what their fans want. They just want to listen to an hour of just us shitting on them and shitting on the show.
Mainly due to testosterone and pesky poor people.
I'm struggling with rent this month. Figure it the fuck out.
In 2020, Tom Segura broke his arm and made a commitment to be in better shape. This, combined with the success from the bump all these podcasts got due to the COVID pandemic, slowly seemed to mark a tone shift in their content, prioritizing success and money.
Like, I lost 20 grand gambling this weekend. Go ahead.
In 2023, Tom Segura went on an infamous rant about an air hostess checking his bag, and after receiving pushback, he doubled down using the phrase, pause. That was the beginning of the end.
You only have what you have because of fans, so don't talk about us like that. Yeah, but you're still a loser if you're thinking like that. I'm lucky to have you as a loser fan, but...
Bert Kreischer, whose online hatred always seems to reach new heights, is mainly criticized for being loud, narcissistic,
I have legit great shoulders. Like, great fucking shoulders.
contrived,
When you get on stage in an arena, they're all waiting for...
lacking material,
Can you tell us a joke?
Yeah, when I was 22 years old, I got involved with the Russian Mafia.
and using his family in inappropriate ways to fuel his career. He was involved in drama with another member of the Sober October crew, Ari Shafir, after he slipped Bert Molly.
Let's start with Ari slipping me Molly.
What?
Let's start there.
You slipped him on?
Yeah.
Dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? How much?
It's enough.
But even that clear-cut case of being wrong, Bert still somehow managed to turn it into a loss, as the general consensus was that he handled it like, well, a pussy.
People were trashing Ari, but I was like, I know him and I love him. He's my brother.
Right.
I gotta figure out a way to forgive him.
Now, of all the things you can accuse Bert of, and that's a lot, there's one thing you can't, and that's performing at the Riyadh Comedy Festival in Saudi Arabia, hosted by the Royals. Perhaps the controversy in the comedy world in recent years, the Riyadh Comedy Festival has helped change the course of careers. Comedy legends like Bill Burr have taken a massive hit due to performing at the festival, while others like Mark Maron and Shane Gillis are being cemented as authentic for their choice not to attend.
For Saudis?
Yeah. Weren't those the 9/11 guys?
Bill Burr, maybe the saddest casualty of the festival, has been hit worse than anybody else. His podcast raking in half the views on YouTube it once did, and any recent comments of videos with him in seem to be largely negative. How well a comedian has done after the festival is not only down to if they performed at the festival, but how well they took the criticism. And well, Bill didn't take it great.
And I will tell you, the Cheesecake Factory in Riyadh, man, it's incredible. It's right next to the Pizza Hut and the KFC, and if you want a pair of Timberlands, it's across the street next to the Marriott, catty corner to the fucking Hilton. But that's all fine.
Trying to gaslight his audience into thinking it's all gravy because they too have a Wendy's, and it's just been downhill from there. The festival also just seems to be a case of it's not what you do, but it's how far you have strayed from people's perception of who you are, or were. And well, for Bill it seems pretty far from the trashing he frequently gave others for selling out for money.
Beyonce and Mariah Carey actually did private New Year's gigs for $1 million. Did New Year's gigs for Gaddafi's kids. Can you fucking believe that? How much fucking money do you need to make, you know? You're gonna take a gig where you're gonna go dance like a goddamn fucking clown for a mass murderer's kids? And then you take that fucking blood money.
While for others like Kevin Hart or Pete Davidson, the idea that they would do something just for money doesn't seem that far off base, so somewhat ironically their careers don't seem to have been hurt as bad. Anyway, I think that's as good a place as any to leave it. I'd wanted to do a more complete breakdown of the drama in the comedy scene, but the more I dug into it, the more I realised what a rat's nest it truly is, and I didn't want this video to be 3 hours long. I think part of the issue with this scene stems from the fact that podcasting isn't their passion. They got popular for something they don't seem to consider their job title. It's not what they talk about, it's not what they like. So there's a discrepancy between how the audience knows them versus what they think they should be known for. Anyway, I don't know. But if there's any other nonsense in particular you want me to talk in an overly serious tone over, just let me know. Please like and subscribe. Cheers.
I actually made up with Mark Maron the other day.
God damn it.